This one's just unscrewing.
Hey guys, welcome back to Finding Blue Haven. Today we're removing the chain plates as part of our final preparation for painting. We're hoping they're fine and don't need to be replaced, but we're about to find out.
Two of these are just spinning.
Okay, I'm gonna go down there on the outside.
Okay. Sounds good.
Pretty much nothing on this boat has been easy, and the longer things have been on there, the harder they are to get off. These were no exception. They're pretty happy right where they're at. We removed the bolts on the ones that would come off, but some of them were too rusty to get off. For these, one of Mike's knowledgeable coworkers gave us a great solution. Using a drill, we drilled 2 holes in the rusty nut, one on each side of the bolt. Once these were drilled, we used a cold chisel and hammer to split the nut. Then, voila!
And that, folks, is how you get a rusty nut off of the bolt on the chain plate.
Chain plates are the little unsung heroes of sailboats. They're what connects the rigging to the boat, and therefore the reason we can have masts and sails. They manage the tremendous loads of wind and resistance it takes to propel a sailboat. Chain plates are actually the final connection in a linked system of shrouds, turnbuckles, and terminals. We'll get more into all that with the rigging when we step our masts. A chain plate consists of 2 plates, sandwiching the hole and connected by bolts. Each plate pair are bolted through a reinforced section of hull. Some of the chain plates on Stratego have been really hard to get to, and we've had to cut into cabinets and around things just to get to them. Chain plates can be made out of many materials, including bronze, stainless steel, aluminum, and composite materials. Strategos are stainless steel, and as far as we can tell, all of our chain plates are original. We're hoping they're fine, but definitely want to check them out. Stratego was built in Taiwan in 1976, and experts have told us stainless steel of that era was known to have inclusions. An extra good reason to do a close examination. The upside to spreading things out a bit, or inadvertently doing something backwards, is it sometimes helps to lessen the pain of adding something else to the to-do list. This is a classic example. The chain plates look great! Moving on! Oh wait. We better double check, which then turns into removing them, examining them, and maybe, though hopefully not, replacing them. Look how fast it goes in time lapse. Too bad it didn't go that fast in real life.
Probably a workout.
Yeah, it is mine.
Do you need some cushions to sit on to get you up a little higher?
Maybe that would be nice.
One or 2. Try to, but if it's too high, pull one out. Is that better?
Ah, yes. There you go.
Is it out?
Yep.
Nice.
So now I just have those. You want me to start working on those?
Yeah, and both of those are out, the bottom ones?
All 4 of these are out.
Nice.
Just have the one on the deck.
A little point of reference here, Ross is actually sitting on what will be his bed and removing a chain plate out of one of the little cabinets above it. time lapse is really cool, but it went something more like this. Stratego has 10 chain plates, and this is right about the time we started counting down. 2 down, 8 to go. Mike and Ross both got a really good workout. It looks like Mike is just gouging out the wood here, but really he's removing the teak plug or bung that's covering where the bolt is. Every fastener on Stratego has been covered with a bung, and it gives everything a nice smooth finish. He's just digging it out to get access to the bolt.
Sorry, trying to come on. I gotta go down there.
Do you want to hear some fun facts about stainless steel? Do you know how it got its name? It actually got its name because it stains less, stainless steel. There's many different grades of it. The 300 series is probably the most common. Of those, 316 is considered brain grade. It has a higher content of chromium, which makes it more corrosion resistant. Chromium and oxygen love to react, and when they do, they form a thin, invisible film. Think like a force field or a shield, called chromium oxide. As long as there's enough oxygen in the atmosphere, the shield or force field remains up. It will even repair or recover any scratches or cuts in the stainless steel. However, if the oxygen level gets too low, like say on the back of a chain plate, there isn't enough material to regenerate the force field and rust can sneak in. You'd think it would be the other way around, and being glued to a solid face, like say a boat hull, would protect it. However, science and reality disagree. This was one of the fun spots. Ross is squished over, bent over, and trying to squeeze himself into a little area in the pilot house where our dining room table will someday be, just so he can reach this chain plate.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
So here we are, removing each chain plate to carefully examine later to see if our chromium oxide is intact or if the oxygen level dropped too low. Salts, like salt water, also have a high impact on it, and it's really important there's enough oxygen available. See those runs in the primer? This is what happens when you paint after dark. You can watch it in primer coat. The next 2 chain plates are at the aft cabin. The top of these look a little bigger than some of the others, but most of what you see here are the turnbuckles. That's what the rigging actually attaches to. By the way, the 2 hoses you see are a bilge hose and an air hose. The bilge hose goes to the pump we have to remove water that gets in the bilge every time it rains, and the white air hose is part of the fresh air suit we built and use for fiberglass work. You can see that in our short, "Look Mom, I'm an astronaut," and in step 8, through with through holes. Stratego is a catch, meaning she has 2 masts. The main mast, which comes up through Ross's cabin, and the mizzen mast, which is the smaller one. It attaches at the coach roof of the aft cabin. You can see a little of the coach roof here, the raised area to Ross's right.
Try the other. What? You think I should go down there?
Remember what I said about the pretty happy where they're at? This would be one of them. This one really didn't want to come off, and the boys had to put quite a bit of elbow grease into it, but they stuck with it and they finally got it. How many do we have left again? Are we there yet? After being squished, folded, and smashed in places to get some of these off, the deck was a welcome relief. Back inside, this time the shower.
What are you doing?
I'm trying to get some bolts.
Here's a nice view forward. That's Ross's cabin on the right, and here is the remaining head. We tore out the second one to make more room for our bed. This view really does not do this justice to show how incredibly small this shower is or how small this cabinet is that Ross is trying to drill out another nut in. One of the things we love about Stratego is she has a real shower. A lot of smaller boats, and even the head that we tore out in the aft cabin to make more room for our bed, have one room for the entire head, and that's also the shower. We were so thrilled Stratego has a real shower. Yay, another one down! As you can see, the chain plates were put on, and then basically the rest of the boat was built around them. So here's another classic example of cutting into stuff just to reach part of the chain plate to get it off. And of course, yet another rusty nut that did not want to come off. They were pretty good at this technique by the time we got them all off. We saved the hardest ones for last, so while it was such a pain to get them off, at the same time it meant we were on the home stretch. Just a little bit more, almost there. And finally,
Last one.
the end of one thing is just the beginning of another. So, we're celebrating being done with removing the chain plates and on to the next stage. We don't always show you what we do in order, but this time we did. Yes, we really did sand the entire hull and then go back and take off the chain plates. So, first he has to scrape off the 47-year-old adhesive the chain plates were bedded with. A 5-in-1 scraper made short work of that. Then, 10 spots to sand with the orbital sander, those grooves to catch with the paint stirrer hack, which if you want to see you can watch down to the nitty gritty, and finally we're ready for some primer.
Our goal for today is to finish prepping these spots where the chain plates were. We got 4 of them done, starboard side, last one done. We're going to move to the port side and get those 5 done today.
We wouldn't have done anything with the chain plates if we hadn't had multiple knowledgeable people strongly suggest we check them out. Some of these people are the same ones who told us about the lack of oxygen. Just because they look fine on the outside doesn't mean they're actually fine. We really don't want to risk one or more of them giving out or causing problems in the future, when now is the perfect time to check them out. It won't be nearly as easy or convenient once both masts are set and completely rigged.
Okay, so now that we're done prepping the spots where the chain plates went, we got those sanded and all the old bedding dug out. So now we're going to apply the primer, and we're going to use this Interlux Interprotect 2000E gray. You mix it in a 3-to-1 ratio, and we're going to use these graduated mixing cups to mix. And then we're also going to wipe down each of those spots that we prepped with this all grip cleaner, this T0008 cleaner. So we're going to grab our graduated mixing cup here. I'm using a 1-quart mixing cup, and we're going to go to the 3-to-1 ratio. That's what you mix the Interlux Interprotect 2000E at a 3-to-1 ratio. 3 parts of the A side and 1 part of the B side. So let's go 3-to-1 ratio. So the Inner Protect has an induction time of 20 minutes. So now that we've got this mixed thoroughly, we're gonna let that set for about 20 minutes. And while we get the rest of our spots wiped down with the cleaner.
After the scraping and sanding, wiping her down is the easy part. We are using the T0008 because it's fast evaporating and it also removes all the oils, any light grease, or other surface contaminants that are there. We could probably just wash her down with some normal boat soap, but we decided to go with this to make sure she's especially clean. We definitely want this primer to adhere well so that our paint adheres well and we end up with a very nice paint job. After all this, we really don't want to have to go through this all over again to get some paint on her.
So we have wiped down all 5 chain plate locations on the port side. Now we're going to switch rags. I use this rag for all 5 and I just kept folding it and turning it. But it's time to get a new rag. This one right here will work. Just kind of fold that up. You want to fold it so you can unfold it and get clean sides multiple times. And in our case, 5 times. Saturate that cloth really good. Stuff's really expensive, so I don't want to waste any. Like that.
In case you haven't noticed, a lot of what we do is very repetitive. Sanding, wiping, pretty much the same thing repetitively. This is no exception. This project has been really cool, but also really difficult. As I mentioned before, pretty much nothing has been easy, except maybe finding more issues we need to address. And while it's exciting to work on her, sometimes it's also been really difficult. Seems we've had to go backwards and tear things out we thought were fine, or fix things we really weren't planning on fixing. You know, kinda like thinking we're ready to paint, then having to step back and take off the chain plates. Seriously, there have been times we wondered if we were crazy for coming here and taking on such a huge project. We didn't have any idea we'd be getting this deep, or that it would take this much to bring Stratego back to life. Mike and I both work full-time, so everything we do with her is around 1 full day every weekend and work during the week. After a full day, it's time to change and head to the boatyard to work on Stratego for a few more hours. We love making progress and seeing our beautiful girl's potential though. We're also pretty much always exhausted. Every time this project has gotten long or discouraging though, someone will come along with some advice or encouragement and off we go again. It's really cool to work on her, and maybe one reason painting is so exciting is because that's moving forward instead of moving backwards, tearing things out. It's an example of how she is going to get done, and we can see some light at the end of the tunnel. We're actually in the middle of painting the top half of her hull, the part above the waterline right now, and wait until you see how beautiful she is. When I say we wouldn't trade this for the world, I really mean it, and that's all 3 of us. We've tried to be really careful through all this to make sure Ross is completely involved, and he has a major say in this as well. We are a team of 3, not 2 with a tag-along son. It's sort of like a majority rules thing. At least 2 out of 3 have to agree on something, And Ross is usually one of those too. We've been very careful to make sure he's cool with all this and that he wouldn't rather we just ditch the boat and go do something else. So far he's been in complete agreement, 100% charging forward. Thank you guys so much for watching and for your support. Some of you have been the very people that have come along and given us encouragement or advice or support when we needed it the most. Thank you. We're so excited you're coming along on this journey, and we love showing you our beautiful girl.
If you are enjoying these videos, hit the bell icon and subscribe to be notified of our upcoming videos. Like our next one when we paint our boat.
Thanks for watching.